Hi, welcome to Messy Missy Creates. If you watched my live last night, I was playing with these dies. I was going to make a Halloween card, but I was making the parts and pieces to the card. So anyway, I die cut this cute little cat. Oh, I forgot the hat, but anyway, I'll get it in a minute. The cat in the hat, right? Die cut this cute little cat. I had sprayed the hat with the purple, I think it's Fortune Teller mica spray from Tim Holtz. This is a Simon Says stamp die. The Spooky Cat is what it's called. This one is called Stack of Pumpkins. And I have them here. I cut them. I haven't done anything with their eyes yet. I'll show you that in a minute. But I sprayed them with the Jack-o'-lantern mica from Tim Holtz. And I went ahead and gave them a little spritz of the yellow. I think it's the Harvest Moon. There you go. Now you can see them. Yeah. And you can see that metallic little specks in it. Anyway, I think it turned out really cute. And I just wanted to lighten them up. They were a little dark. So that is this one, the Stack of Pumpkins. I have the little stem. I haven't colored them in yet. And then this I got from Simon Says Stamp as well, but it's Elizabeth Craft Designs. It's a slimline size spiderweb die. It's what they call a cover die, meaning it fits on top of the whole size of your card. So I sprayed it with the, I think it was Iron Gate and Decayed mica sprays from Tim Holtz as well. I don't know anybody else that has mica sprays, but anyway, you can see the shimmer in it. I wanted it to look like it was a little bit silvery, like, and a little bit translucent. So I was considering putting it on this black paper. So I wanted to see what it would look like. And I think it looks great. However, you know, I like that look. Okay, so I have this die. This is it's part of a Spellbinders die. It's the outermost size of the slim line, which makes it, we're going to say about 3.5 by 8.5, but it's not quite. I think it's a little smaller than that, like 8.375 by 3 point. Anyway, you get the idea. It's just a hair under 3.5 by 8.5. And, but I did double check, and it fits perfectly within, you know, the bounds of that. So I could cut out this black. And I'll probably bring back my die cut or my die cut machine and cut that. But then I thought about, I was thinking I'd stack the pumpkins this way, but I think I'm going to have to stack them, or I think I'm going to have to go sideways with this card, make a landscape style card. And I was just going to have the cat. And then I have from, I think it's Lawn Fawn, I have a big die that says Happy Halloween. And I'll show you that in a minute. And there's a couple little spiders in this. But I think between the black spiders and I was going to color in this cat kind of a grayish black. I think the black background might be a little much, but I might go ahead and cut it just to try it. But I also was thinking that to get around the black cat, if I layered up these pumpkins beside him, well, let's layer them right side up. I could do that, and I think the black cat would show up. Okay. But I forgot about the spiders, and I could do them in a gray or, you know, something. They don't have to be solid black. But I'm going to try this, and I want to see how the black background works. If I don't like that, then I'm going to cut a white panel, and I'm going to ink blend it in like deep blues and purples and kind of the spooky sky. So I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. So I will get all of my materials and I will be right back. Okay, now I'm going to cut, I had another idea. So I'm going to take the cat, and all I want is this let me angle you like that. Okay. I'm trying to get used to this new setup so that I can film more of my card making. But anyway, I only want this segment right here. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to die cut it out. I'm going to cut it out of This is the Wicked Elixir mica. Now I could go with just regular green. I wanted to see what a green hat with the purple on it looked like. So instead of cutting the whole thing, because I don't need a green cat, although, I mean, I guess that could be cute. But for right now, I'm just gonna cut the hat. So I line it up where I need it, flip it over. Well, it's a good idea to peel off your tape first. I usually have a couple pieces stuck to my platinum here. But okay, I'll have to line it up again. Let me get a couple pieces of tape just kind of ready to go. They don't have to be big, and you can use them multiple times. This is really good tape for this because it doesn't tear your paper. Okay, I've lined it back up, putting it back on my machine. I'm gonna tape it down so that it doesn't move. I've got my cutting plate, and I'm gonna put my top plate over it, make my sandwich. If you're not familiar to die cutting, that's what they call the layers of your cutting plates and your platform. And it makes a noise, and it's going to shake the table that I have my camera mounted to. Maybe if I get to where I can do these more often, I can get a better setup. But for right now, you're on my kitchen island that my daughter and I built. So, all right, so this is, it gave us a green face. Oh, you know what? That actually will be nice because I was thinking about making his eyes yellow, but his little green eyes might work. That might work. Can you see that? So that might not be wasted. So we'll just have to cover, we don't want his ears and mouth, nose to be green. But anyway, for now, I have the two hat pieces that I want, and I'm gonna take this off and see if we can play with the hat a little bit. Watch if I bump you, I'm sorry. Get that off, and oh, I was gonna die cut. Hold on. Let me put that back up here. I was gonna die cut my background. Oh, yep, I bumped you pretty good. Sorry about that. Okay. So now I'm going to cut down. This is just a tip if you're new to die cutting. If you can prevent, see, I have the big spellbinders. This is 8.5 inches wide. So it will hold a whole piece of paper. But if you run it through with a big flat side like this, it's gonna really be hard and it's gonna really ka-thump. If you can do it long ways where the longer end is on the sides, it turns out much better. Let me get my scissors, and they're right next to me. So what I'm gonna do, and I don't have to cut this paper, and that's why I got a larger Spellbinders Platinum, is so that it would hold a whole sheet of paper. But anytime I'm cutting something this large, I try to cut it down first, just because it makes it easier. I don't always, but seeing how I'm recording, I didn't want it to go ka-thunk in your ear. I mean, it already is going to a little bit. There's only so much you can avoid that. All right, so I have it on, and I'm gonna try this black one first. Okay, see, it went ka-thunk anyway, and I'm shaking you like crazy. Don't get seasick. No more. Okay, I'm not gonna run it back through. I'm gonna pull it off this side. Be careful not to bump the table. And now we have our piece of paper that should fit perfectly behind our spider web. And this is called a slimline size. It fits in a standard number 10, I believe. It fits in a standard number 10 envelope like you would send a bill. And there we go. Now we have a jet black background for our spider web. And I did think about it. I have some more sprays. I don't have the Tim Holtz in the purple other than the mica, and I really don't know that I want a purple mica background, although that might be pretty. Anyway, I found some Delusions in a purple. I may try like a purple and teal instead of ink blending. I might play around with that background. I'll let you know if I end up liking it, but I'm not going to do it on camera. I'm going to take this down because I think we're done die cutting. And let's see if we can put together our, let me grab a sheet of white paper or white cardstock, just so that you can see against my wood table. It's hard to see that black. So let's try this. And we need to glue it down. It's just a little smaller, so the outer border is not going to glue down to it. I may take my tape runner. I'm not sure yet. I may just glue this down. It's going to take a little bit to do, but anyway, I haven't colored in my cat yet, but I just kind of want to line up my pumpkins again and see what I think. And there's my green cat head. Here's the little hat. I really wanted to put the hat together. I was almost tempted to invert the hat, make one green with a purple stripe and vice versa, because I'm thinking about putting, see, here's, yeah, you can see that. Here is the green, and there's my purple one. So I kind of want to see, let me get my little tweezers. Okay, I have my tweezers and my glue. I kind of want to see what this is going to look like on this purple hat. It's a very light green. I was thinking, oh, that's cute. Let's see what this is going to look like on the green hat. Okay. Yeah, I think that the purple, this ended up being more concentrated than that original piece of paper I sprayed. That was a, excuse me, a lighter purple. Like this. See the difference? I think I held the spray bottle closer when I had just the hat. And I didn't give it that above mist. And so I got a darker purple, which I don't think would show up well on a black hat. I could always die cut it again out of this if I do want it on a black hat. Anyway, for right now, I'm going to put these hats together using my art glitter glue and just a little dab will do ya. And there we go. Well, it's a little slippery. I'm going to use my tweezers to hold it together. Well, I'm going to actually, it's going to slip. I guess that mica, because it has a shimmer to it, I guess it's a little slippery. So, okay, I'm going to do that and just hold it for just a second. And let's see, I'm going to put my dies back up while that's drying. And that should be dry. It doesn't take long at all to dry. So I could put that hat on the pumpkins and put this lighter hat on the cat. Since he's going to be kind of a black cat. And I need to get my, and put my pen back in my art glitter glue, or AGG for short. And oop, I hit my springs here. Let's see. All right, kitty cat, let's see what you look like. Now, do I like the green on the pumpkins? I mean, I can use the little stem for the pumpkins. I don't have to have two witches hat, but I just thought it would kind of might look cute if I couldn't decide between the purple and the, but this dark purple definitely doesn't show up against that black background. So it might have to be a green hat with the purple. But if I'm gonna have the cat black, I definitely didn't want, okay, so his ears aren't even gonna show. So the only thing I have to deal with is if I use that green background. So his eyes can be green, I just need to color the little place for his nose. And that could honestly be black. So, all right, we have the cat, and if I color him in gray, need to find my, need to get my Happy Halloween stencil or my die and see, because it's a rather large die. So let me get that and I will be right back. This is Lawn Fawn. I have it in with my Spellbinders little spooky, it decorates this door. So it has little ghosts and bats and another little black cat sitting on a pumpkin. So I already did have stacking pumpkins. I forgot about that. But these were bigger. And this is what I mean by it's pretty large. So it's going to cover up this whole section, and which is fine. And then I haven't decided what I'm going to cut this out of. I might go ahead and cut it out of that bright green. Yeah, I might cut it out of that, or a bright yellow cardstock. So I have a piece of that right here. I might like that, although I don't have any yellow anywhere else in the card. So I'm not sure. But I definitely could add not just the spiders, but I could add some little bats. And yeah, I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna try cutting a background and spraying it with those purple, kind of the teal and purple sprays that I have. Not the mica, they're just the sprays, the ink spray. And I'm gonna see, I'll bring you back when it dries, and we're gonna see if I like it. And if I don't like it as a background, it might work to cut out this Happy Halloween. So I will be back when I have all of that done. So while I wait for the ink to dry, I did kind of a purple and magenta and teal mix just to get a, mix and maybe a variation of purple. And so while I'm letting that dry, and I'll bring you back and show you that. But while that's drying, I went ahead and decided to cut out this Happy Halloween out of this green. If it's not dark enough, I can always spritz it again. But I already have it sprayed in color, so I might as well use it. Sorry, I know I'm shaking the camera. But that was the paper that I was testing the sprays on when I first got them. I'm gonna get this and bring it back around this side. And I think we are done with the die cutting. So put the tape back on. Like I said, this is Lawn Fawn. Happy Halloween. And there we have it. All the little innards stuck to the thing. So this is Happy Halloween in Wicked Elixir Green Mica Spray. This is editing me. I'm just going to color this little cat with my Copic markers. And there I was showing you which ones I'm using. I'm using the neutral gray. I believe N2 or N0 through N8. The even ones. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, I don't know. Anyway, something like that. And I was just explaining how, I start off with like my lighter one, or maybe my lightest one, or almost lightest. Anyway, and kind of put down where I want my shadows. And then it's part of working up your bravery to use your really dark ones. So I graduate up in number, and then you'll see me, I'll graduate back down in numbers. And trying to zoom you in a little bit. I know you still probably can't see very well, but anyway, now I'm getting a little braver. I'm going in with my darkest ones, where I'm wanting, most of the darker color is going to be like under the chin there, at the very bottom. I'm putting a lot of the shadows on the right side. I actually did the tail wrong. I should have put the shadow on the right side of the tail. But, you know, this is not art school. This is a card. And we're just, you know, we're just winging it and doing the best we can. So anyway, I'm getting, now I'm going back down in number. I think this is probably about in 6, in 4, in 6. And this is the lightest one. This is in 0, and I'm trying, and it's barely showing up. So I think I switched back to the N2 here, and, you know, just kind of blending that in. It doesn't really blend, so I'm going in with my N4. Yep, there we go. That blends a little bit better. Yeah, this is actually kind of comical to watch yourself back, doing this and commentating or narrating yourself. It's actually quite funny. So anyway, he's kind of done, and I'm going to come back in the video the normal way now. Alrighty. I like it. Alright, kitty kitty. There you go. Now that is good enough for me. It's not perfect. But I got the ink on here, which is fine. I can just take a rag with, I'll show you. I'll take a rag with some hand sanitizer. So here's our little kitty cat. I don't have a moon. So, I mean, we're just assuming there's a moon. Now, I guess I could have left a highlight on my, I was just going to magnetize these corners down. My paper that I sprayed is still soaking wet. So, remember, we're just waiting for it to dry. So, I'm going to put these magnets down just to hold down these corners a little bit. Man, those are strong magnets. Okay, so I want to see what this looks like. And it could be darker. And the little pumpkin needs to go right down here in the corner. Right on the bottom. Oh, I bent you. I bent you, didn't I? Bent my little pumpkins. Alright, so once those are glued down flat, and then the kitty, I think Mr. Kitty's going to look cute once he has a little green hat on. And the other background, I might need to do a yellow. I want to do a night background though. I might have to think about how to do that. Oh, I can glue his green eyes on now. Where's his green eyes? I got a green face. Now let's see how that green looks. And remember, the ears aren't going to show. So I need to, if I can still find his nose, I can color his nose black and then put it on there. If not, I'm going to take some like enamel, like an enamel dot or Nuvo drops or something like that and fill that in. I mean, I could take my marker and go over, take my darkest. Oh, and I could have used the black, my black marker too, and just gone over the darkest part. Okay, look, there now he has kind of a black nose. That feel better? Okay, let me glue his little nose on, or his little face. It's weird gluing, well, I'm not going to do it that way. It was weird putting the glue on the front of something, is what I was going to say. And I could have colored his ears a little pink, but I don't think they'll really show. And if he ends up with green ears, then so be it. His ears almost don't show up on, I mean his ears, his eyes. Might needed to have colored that in a little darker. Around his eye right there, but really can't, because now I'll get it on his eye. Let's see, just going back in and blending this out a little bit. There. A little bit better, not much. Okay. He'll just be like a gray kitty that has shadows because he's really not black. He would have to be darker to be a black cat. So we're just gonna have a little gray cat, and the really dark gray part are the shadows. So hopefully, yeah, the light will have to be coming from here. So we'll just have to pretend on that, right? So we have a green hat for our kitty with green eyes. And I might take a little like gel pen, a green gel pen or something like that, and darken up his eyes a little bit. Because they really are too light. You really can't see them, but that's okay. I think the focus is his hat. So do we want the purple hat on the kitty? Ordinarily I would, but I'm thinking about keeping off this little top pumpkin and just doing a hat like that and this hat like this. And then you never notice his little green ears, right? Yep, I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna do glue right here and here. And then actually there should have been more of a shadow underneath his hat, but we're not going to get that picky. We're gonna kind of give him a crooked hat. How about that? A little bit crooked. I think he looks cute. And then I'll wait and put the purple one on the pumpkin. I want to see if, once our background is dry, I want to see if it's going to show up. So, okay. All right. I'm going to pause the video until the other one dries. And then I'll bring you back and we'll decide which background we're going to use. But also, I'm thinking I need a brighter, I'm thinking I need an orange or yellow, bright orange or yellow Halloween, because this is a very, very orange. And I think this is going to have to stand out a little bit more. So, but we'll make that decision in a little bit. All right, I'll see you back in a few. Okay, I'm back. This is the new background. I already went ahead and put it down, and it's kind of a magenta purplish. It's got a little bit of teal splatters. You can't tell it's teal. It just looks like a variation of purple. Might not do as much of the, I don't know, the magenta up here. I think I would splatter it with black, not the magenta and the teal next time, but it's not, it looks pretty decent. So I cut a black, I did a couple things off camera that you had already seen me do, so you didn't have to see it again, so I didn't video it. I cut Happy Halloween out of black because I was thinking about giving a shadow where you just glue it together and you offset it just a little bit. Maybe make that stand out against that silvery spider web. Although I think it stands out enough, I may not use it. So let's see. Oh, I also had found some little ghosts that I'd already put together. I cut out some little spiders out of black cardstock. And then I just did a really light spritz of gray. No, the iron gate. So he has little itty bitty little splashes of silver metallic. Just so they weren't jet black, because, you know, when the light hits them, they kind of are, you know, a little shiny too. So I wanted a black cat because I wanted to try black cat on this pumpkin. So I went ahead and cut the whole thing out of black just in case, you know, next time I can play with just the solid black cat and see if I like him just as well. So I'm going to set that to the side. Here's the little hat thing, the little band. And let's see, what else am I going to do? Yeah, I found these little ghosts. I thought it might lighten it up. I can tuck one here and there. They already had little strips of yellow cardstock. Let me put them where you can see them. Behind them where their eye holes were. So I already had those put together. So I thought, well, I'll bring them out. I had a box where I was playing last year. And, you know, I thought, well, why not try them? I saved all my stuff in a box. I want to just see again how this looks on a black cardstock, and it's not bad. Everything stands out except for the spiders. Now I could put the spiders on like the happy. I could put one spider on a pumpkin. That would kind of stand out. Not a whole lot though. So I still like, at least for this card, I will do some with this black background and maybe just do pumpkins and a yellow Happy Halloween or something like that. Don't lose your spiders. I don't know where my other one went. All right, come on. Yeah, I think I lost. Oh no, they're together. Okay, let me put them over here so I don't lose them. They even have a curve like they're crawling a little bit. I think you can see that over here. This is all my little bits and bobs. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the web down. Put all this over here. And that way I don't have to keep these magnets in the way. Once you start gluing it down, boy, my southern accent came out. Once you start gluing it down, you realize some things work better and some things don't. So I like to try to do that as early in the process as I can, although this time I did not. I really just, you know, I didn't worry about it too much. So this is a little time consuming. Oh, okay, that's not good. Well, it's not horrible because it dries clear, but I guess I was missing. I'll bring this in a little closer. Not only closer to you, but closer to my eyeballs. I do have my glasses on, by the way. Just thought I would point that out, but yet I still missed. It's kind of hard to do this, these little thin, even with this, you know, this little applicator. It's a little tricky. So sometimes it's easier just to go in and do little glue dots here and there, like on the little points. And also because this glue dries pretty fast, you have to kind of do it pretty fast. So, yeah. And I've already got glue on those. Let me put a little there and there and there. On those bigger sways, I'm trying to do it in the middle too. Oh, I hope this doesn't dry before I get it on here. There's also ways around this. There's, you can do like die cut it out of it, put the cardstock on adhesive, like an adhesive backing, and do it that way. Honestly, I'm too cheap to do it that way. That's the honest truth. Because, you know, that adhesive backing it's not horribly expensive, but if you are doing a you know, large number of cards, that could get pretty costly, I think. That's my opinion. Now, other card makers do it, and that's fine. I could have probably used like a roller tape, but then sometimes you get extra adhesive on the front that you don't want. Okay, so that's glued on. See, that wasn't too painful. And it's on there, and it looks like a spider web in the glowy night sky. So let's start with our pumpkins over here. Now that we have our spider web laid out. And I may have to use some foam tape. I have some at my ready if I need it. Now, the second thing I have to decide on pretty quick is, do I want to do the shadow on the Halloween? Because that's going to affect my placement just a hair. It would make it stand out a little bit more. Not only stand out, but it would make it stand up a little higher, if that makes sense. And let's see, I don't have to do, I'm gonna just do, I hope I'm doing the right side. I'm not going to put it all over. I'm going to put it mostly because I am going to slide it kind of offset. I don't want it all over everything. But anyway, I may have done that wrong anyway. But that's okay. It's clear glue. I have to angle it up so I can see. Yeah, I think I put the glue exactly on the wrong side. I mean, I put it on the right side of the paper, but it's all right. It's okay. And you can slide it a little further, a little less. I didn't think about it, but I'm probably should have gone the other way because if you really want to get technical in your shadows, let me see if I have room to do this. Oh, that looks awful. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, let's let that completely dry. Because remember I had said our light source is coming from this side. So it'll dry clear though. Clear enough that you shouldn't be able to see it on that back. That black against the black. Yeah. All right, so I'm not gluing that down just yet. I want to see where my pumpkins are going to lay, how I'm going to do. I want to see if I'm going to use a hat. Okay, so I have a purple hat with a green trim, and I now have a black hat, a solid black hat with a yellow. Oh, wait, hold on. First, I need to give the pumpkin some eyes. Now, I did not save the eyes from, I mean, I still have them, but you have to cut the part around the back of the pumpkin anyway, if that makes sense, to glue the eyes down in there. So I just go ahead and get a piece of yellow cardstock. Make sure it's, you know, wide enough. You're not going to see this. It's going to be on the back. And then now you can just, well, you can drop your scissors. And you can just trim it. I do it like at an angle so that it doesn't stick out. So now we have eyes, you know, the jack-o'-lantern eyes. And this was just a scrap piece that I had out of my scrap bin. So all I'm doing is putting a little bit of glue like around the eyes and the nose, and then right under the mouth, making little circles around them. And then just doing enough that it doesn't show, but enough that it covers up. Just like that. Easy peasy. And with that one little strip, I had enough to do all 3 pumpkins. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use all 3 pumpkins, but it also gives that a little more stiffness because I didn't use super thick cardstock. So now I need to decide if I want the black with the yellow. That's why I did the yellow band, because it's the same yellow as the their eyes. I need to decide if I'm going to use that or if I'm going to put this 3rd pumpkin up here and put a little topper on them. So I guess I should go ahead and give him eyes since we're right here. We might as well, because I'm going to use him at some point, right? Okay. I think he got a little more glue than he needed, but I was trying not to have to cut too many sides. But I did not cut down my cardstock any, so I would have had to cut it at some point, either before or after. And sometimes I'll cut it before, but then I cut it too small. So anyway, all right, so this is what it looks like with all the pumpkins stacked, and then here's a little yellow stem. I'm not fond of the stem that came with this. It's just plain to me. There's cuter stems. I don't think we have room for all 3 pumpkins and the hat, unless we really tilt it, which that's kind of cute. I'm not in love with this top pumpkin. So I think I'm either going to use the hat or the stem. And nope, I think he's getting a hat. What do you think? I believe he's getting a hat. Okay, so we have the pumpkins like that, and it's kind of cute. One's facing that way and one's facing this way. And that's sort of cute. I'm gonna ground it, glue it at the very bottom. And then, so I guess I could go ahead and put those on, because I know that they have to go as far over to the left as they can, or somewhat. It might be smart to use some double-sided tape, not foam tape, but let me see if I have a roller. I do. I don't use these a lot, but for the sake of ease, I'm going to today. I try not to use them because it just seems wasteful. Unless, you know, for very specific projects. But I wanted that because it has to get in that spider web. Now, most people would have probably lifted that up and put foam tape back there. I'm not. I know this goes against everything else you'll hear in card making. I'm not that big on dimension, because the more dimension there is, I mean, I like it where it's needed, but if I don't have to have it to make the point of the card, then I won't do it, because it's harder to get in the envelope and it's harder to mail. Some of the cards have so much dimension you can't even mail them. Okay, I'm just gonna put the hat right there. I like it right there. I want to get my cat in here, and I think that looks cute. It makes the pumpkin, his tail and everything against the background of the pumpkin, makes his tail stand out. I did go in with a little bit of black on his nose, and I put a little bit more green on his eyes. I don't know if you can see that. I like that there. I like this here. Yep, that will fit there. And now, do we want... I don't know if I like this black hat now. Let's try it on with the purple, with the green, to be consistent. And it stands out. I don't know if you can see it. It is a darker purple. Thinking a ghost here. There's one that faces this way, like it's coming out of here, and one that's coming out of here. So kind of like that, and it brightens up the card a little bit, the white with the yellow, because there's no white on this card otherwise. And then I have a couple of bats that are just out of black cardstock. I already had them cut out. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not. I don't think I really need them. I did think about using this little pumpkin if I needed filler for down here, just to give some consistency, but I don't think I'm gonna need it, and I don't necessarily care for him, because I still have spiders to put on here, and I do want to use the spiders because I went through all the trouble of making them. Now, I do kind of like if I have one up here, and I was thinking one was bigger than the other, and I thought about putting one on the pumpkin there, and he definitely will stand out against that pumpkin. And then what about right there? Now, obviously, I have room for bats if we want to use, like I have this little smaller bat. Let me get the right side. I don't want to, I've got adhesive all over my little tweezers. They're kind of cute. And they do stand out against that purple. I don't think they would have stood out against the black. But definitely don't have to have them. So let me put them off to the side. I'm going to glue down this Happy Halloween, except I need to make room or leave room for my little ghost to tuck up underneath there. So let's get this glued down. And you can see on the back how I offset that black. I think you can see it better now that you can see the white through the background. And I am going to try to put this everywhere, because it too is going to have to go through the spider web, you know, because that's textured. So I just want to make sure I have enough glue that I'm going to get good adhesion. See, that's already started to dry right there. Man, that stuff dries pretty quick. And I usually keep my little block handy. But I gotta get my little ghosts in there pretty quick. All right, Cat, you're not glued down yet. Hold on, you're last. It's not your turn, baby. It's not your turn. Now, I am thinking about... No, I'm not. I was thinking about popping up the ghost a little bit. And I might pop the cat up, just a hair. I do have some little foam squares. But I have just these little rolls of this little... Well, I have different sizes. But what I was thinking is just a little piece on the back of the ghost here. And that makes it like pop up like they're coming up off the paper. If you know what I mean. So if I glue the tail and then peel the backing. There. See, they look like they're coming up. Let me do this one and then I'll hold it up so you can see it. Need a little bit bigger piece for this one. He's a little bit bigger ghost. I have that mica all over me. That is definitely, it definitely comes off. It's not quite glitter, but it's definitely a shimmer. Oh, I didn't peel the, darn it. Forgot to peel the back off the adhesive. Okay, so now you can see, I'll hold it up close. So you can see, if you can see that the ghosts come up off the paper. See, there's a little bit of a, all right. You might not be able to see it on camera. And I was thinking about popping up the cat. Just to give it a little bit of dimension. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. I think I heard somebody's horn. Let's see. Cut that down just a hair. I don't know if I'm in, oop. I think I got out of frame there for a second. Sorry about that. Well, I still have it. Scoot over. There you go. And I want that piece right there. I'll turn it around. There. And then we'll put cut one more little piece. Go across the face. I don't know, you can tell me, let me know what you think in the comments. Am I zoomed in enough? I can sort of see the camera. I mean, I can sort of see the view a little bit. I'm afraid that if I zoom in too far or too close, that I have a habit of working outside of the frame there. So let me know if you would prefer it to be zoomed in a little closer. And I'm gonna put a little adhesive on that sticky back just to give me a little bit of wiggle room. There. And I did put adhesive on the top of the hat, and I put adhesive on, or glue on his tail. And the rest of it is him popped up. Oh, spiders. Can't forget the spiders. Where'd my other spider? Oh, here it is. I was like, where'd my other spider go? Oh, I still have to make a decision about that hat too. Let's see. Kind of like him half on the word, just to kind of make him part of the, oh, he's going to be a handful, isn't he? All right, come on, little glue or spider. I'm just going to touch the tip of the glue bottle to the tips of his, what do you call those things? Legs, I guess. Yeah. Okay, it looks like he's crawling onto the Happy Halloween. And then I don't have to do, I could do the other spider here, but I kind of thought it kind of worked over here, like he's climbing onto the pumpkins. And that gives us a little bit of continuity in the page, like it's a journal page. In the card, you know, a little balance, because like what you do to this side, you do to this side. That's how my brain works anyway. That's just me. All right, he's getting the hat. Decision made, purple hat. And I'm thinking it needs to be a little crooked. Like purposely crooked. It might be, I didn't intend on it to be up that high though. Ah, I didn't mean for it to be that crooked. Okay, that should dry clear. Alrighty, so now all I have to do is put this on a card base. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what you think of the card video. It's going to take a good bit of editing and whatever, but I can do it, and I don't mind doing it if you want to see more of this stuff. Because I certainly will be making more cards for mainly fall. I don't do a lot with Halloween, but I thought this one was cute, and or I thought it would be cute. And I can do, you know, different things with the background and all. So anyway, let me know what you think. I didn't get this hat exactly where I wanted it, but I think it will work. And definitely, it's a little warped because it was wet, but it's going to go on, I don't know if I'm going to put it on a black card base or a white card base, but you won't see it. But anyway, I am, that's a wrap. And let's see if I can cut this video down to something manageable and get it posted. Well, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.